So guys, isn't it beautiful that you can video something and that you can document something on video or image or anything like that, and you can post it up online somewhere and then someone's going to see it? I mean, isn't that a beautiful fascination? I mean, that you can document your life every single day. You can make audio programs, make video programs, and anything that's in your imagination, for example, you can speak it out onto video or into an image or into a graphic design or into an audio program or into writing materials, and people get to see that. I mean, people get to witness that. People get to witness your thoughts. They get to witness that you are someone in this world. I mean, does that fascinate you? I promise you it has to fascinate you, because the thing is that what I want to explain is you have an imagination, and because you have an imagination, you can talk anywhere. You can go anywhere. You can do anything you want to do in your imagination. So, for example, I have this girl in my mind, and I always wanted to be with her, but she never wanted to be with me in real life. You understand? So the thing is that I got to kiss her on the cheek, and that's about it. But the thing is that it's much more how you have to realize that sometimes your imagination can always embark on that journey of being with people. You can always talk to yourself on a daily basis. You can do anything with your imagination. You can achieve your goals with your imagination. You can use your imagination to empower yourself, to really, really broaden your perspective, to give ideas, to make sure that your emotional intelligence is where it needs to be, for example. So you have to understand that emotional intelligence is just your imagination. It's your ability to see images. I mean, your images in terms of your mind is always making images of stuff. So the more you explore your imagination, the more you can embark on ideas, and the more you can embark on a better life for yourself if you choose the better life for yourself. Yes? And so your imagination opens up, and because it opens up into something, you can choose your way. You can choose the best direction. But the thing is that what I always do in my life is I keep a journal. And because I have a journal, I'm always writing things down, because I have to give ideas out there to people so that I can benefit my life in the process. And it's very important to keep a journal, because the more you have a journal in your life, the more you can do specific things like planning. You can actually do business strategies. You can plan out your imagination. You can write a book, and you can actually see how to talk and maneuver yourself around with people, and you can plan ahead of time what you're going to say to people, and you can plan ahead of time where you're going to be and what you're going to do, and everything that you want to achieve, you can achieve it through your imagination and through having a journal. I mean, you understand? So for example, when you're single, you have to realize that things in life, when you're single, you have to realize that your imagination plays a vital role in terms of how you act in life and how you do things. So for example, you have to realize that every single day of your life is going to be a different day, and you have to always make sure that you're doing things differently with your imagination all the time, so that you understand how to be single, so you understand how to do anything in life. But the thing is that what I want to talk about is the maneuver of you being single every single day of your life, and how to actually act accordingly to being single. Because some people have a difficult time being single, and some people have a great time being single. I mean, other people are back and forth. But the thing is, you must understand that if you're a single person right now, if you have no relationship with other people in terms of being together, in terms of with another person, you have to understand that it's okay to be single, okay? And you have to realize that, for example, that I'm single for myself over here. I'm single, and the reason I'm single is because there's been no woman out there that's willing to be with me at the moment. So the thing is that I don't need them. Do you understand? That's the kind of attitude I want you to bring to the table as well. That you have to understand that you don't need a man or woman in your life. All you need is yourself. I mean, have you ever heard of that quote? Someone quoted that, and you have to realize that all you need is yourself, okay? So if you really, really understand that you have to always be planning in your life, you always have to really give as many thoughts as possible into the world, so that you can actually benefit yourself and other people every single day. So what I want to talk about is that if you're single today, you have to use your imagination to grow. You have to understand that the reason I make videos and the reason I document all my life as much as possible is the reason because I understand that I can help someone with my information. And because I can spread that information into the world, I'm understanding that someone can benefit from my thoughts, someone can benefit from my life, someone can benefit from my experiences. So for example, if I ever had kids, for example, understand that they can watch me and they can document my life and see exactly how my life is, you know, on a daily basis in terms of my information, and they can really judge me, and they can also judge for themselves what's much better for themselves. But the thing is that you have to be a teacher in life, and when you're a teacher in life, you can actually grow different ways. You can understand that every single word that I speak on the camera right now is coming through my imagination. So the faster your imagination, the faster your words, and the faster you speak, and the faster you are abbreviating things around for yourself. You have to understand that before I had so much difficulties around women. I had difficulty speaking. I had difficulties even writing. I had so much difficulties even writing something down. You have to understand. So, for example, before I had great mental illness. I mean, called schizophrenia. I was diagnosed as a schizophrenic. Do you understand? And even today, I'm on medication. I'm on medication. 11 years later, I'm still on medication. Do you understand? So the thing is that I've been back and forth with medication. But the thing is that in between, I had a few years without medication and stuff like that. And you have to realize that the reason I'm on medication is because the psychiatrist put me on medication because I got angry. You understand? I got angry at my dad for no reason at all. And you have to realize that you have to learn from my mistakes. Make sure that you never get angry at your parents. Make sure you love your parents. You understand? Make sure that you never cause damage to your household. Like, for example, never punch the wall like I did. For example, you have to understand that when I was younger, I mean, I'm always younger. I mean, throughout my days and throughout my life, I'm always growing younger. But the thing is that you have to communicate your way through life. And you have to understand how important it is every single day to just step up on video and give a performance, you know, about something, about life, or anything, about any kind of subject. I mean, just talk about your thoughts. Talk about something that you are curious about, that you're interested about, that you want people to know about something. Make sure that you put it out there into the world, because when you do that, you're going to benefit yourself, you're going to benefit other people, you're going to benefit God, because God is also doing the work in you. And you have to understand that anything around words is the work of God. So you have to understand that if you really document your life every single day, doing the most you can, making sure that you're gracious in your life, making sure that you're grateful for what you have, in terms of grateful for grateful for what you have. You have to be grateful for what you have, guys. You have to understand that you have to go through life making sure that you're always doing the best job for yourself. Do you understand? Because other people cannot do that for you. You understand? They can be their best selves, but then you're going to look at them and you're going to say, oh, they are their best versions, and look at me. I mean, you understand? But the thing is that you must never compare yourself to other people. Make sure you compare yourself to yourself. And if you're doing better than yesterday in your own life, then that's all you have to be doing. You understand? So get yourself on the track that you need to be going. You understand? So if you want to be single, you have to understand that the single way is the best way. It's the most affordable way. You don't have to worry about kids. You don't have to worry about a wife or husband. You don't have to worry about giving your money to other people in terms of your man and woman, for example, because they're going to buy themselves clothes, they're going to buy themselves food. You don't have to worry about that. You can just be a provider for yourself, and you can have money for yourself in your own pocket, and you can live life like that. And it's the easiest kind of life to live single. You understand? But the thing is that I see so many guys out there, and for example, because I'm a guy, I see so many guys have a woman. I mean, they're saying they have a woman and stuff like that. They want to provide for their family. That's totally okay with me. I'm not against that. But the thing is that some people get themselves into a relationship too early, and then they divorce eventually, and then they spiral out of control because they start using substances like alcohol or drugs to fulfill their needs. You have to understand that drugs and alcohol is never going to fulfill you. It's always going to, I mean, you're always going to be craving more of that. You know, so make sure that you turn away from that and start really improving your life and making sure that you're doing something healthy for yourself. I promise you, if you can stick to health every single day of your life, and you can always educate yourself around nutrition and educate yourself around everything as much as possible, I promise you're always going to put yourself in a better state of mind. You understand? Because those people who actually have a better state of mind are always going to be highly conscious about life, and they're going to be highly conscious about everything. You understand? So you have to realize that you have to take care of the world around you. Okay, so never be chucking rubbish on the street. Make sure that you chuck your rubbish in the bin. Make sure that you sort out your rubbish. I mean, make sure that you are doing things according to the laws of humanity, okay? Make sure you understand that, for example, myself, I understand that if you break a law, okay, you have to understand that you can go to jail, okay, and I don't want you to be going to jail. But make sure you understand that, for example, myself over here, I traveled around Australia, for example, and I was using the government's money, okay, I was using the government's money to travel around Australia, and the thing is that I wasn't meant to be doing that. Yes, I wasn't meant to be doing that. I was meant to be working in one place, but the thing is that that's how I got around. For example, I was relying on the government for money, and currently today I have a DSP, which is a disability support pension right now, but that's going away in 2 years. Okay, so realize this. Now, I'm not going to be on a pension forever, and I'm just 30 years of age, okay, and I never held a 9-to-5 job, really, okay. You have to understand, I was never one of those guys to hold a 9-to-5 job, you understand? So you have to realize nobody in life is going to hold a 9-to-5 job. I promise you, everything that you're working on in life is going to be temporary. I promise you, this video is temporary, but it's always going to be everlasting on the internet, okay? So what I do is every single day, I try to make something of content that's going to outlast me. So for example, once I pass away, this video is going to be on YouTube somewhere, and that's going to benefit someone. But if YouTube deletes my content, I promise you, if YouTube deletes all my content in my YouTube channel for some reason, then the thing is that I understand that God's going to do the work for me. But the thing is that every single time I benefit myself through my individuality. So the more I give out content, the more I can see exactly the type of person I am. Yes, and so you have to realize that when you speak words, there's a brilliant thing in them. I mean, there's a brilliant thing around words that you can do, and you can write stories. You can give out stories. You can give out as much as possible from yourself around words. You can document words. You can actually do something with words. You understand? I mean, if you're a word freak like I am, I every single day try to do my synonyms and antonyms. I try to connect words together. I try to read the most I can because it benefits me. Yes, and because it benefits me, it's going to benefit you later in terms of life when I start doing things to help you. You understand? So the thing is that I'm always trying to help you in some kind of way. You understand? I'm always trying to give you an idea here and there. But if you want to understand my best programs, it's around my busking performances and it's around my videos of me actually on the camera. I mean, that's me speaking to the fullest, and that's me actually giving you content fully. You understand? But sometimes you have to understand in my audio programs, for example, I mean, you cannot see me, but some of my audio programs are not fully quality, okay? And I understand that. But each and every single video program or audio program that I ever made, or anything that I made on YouTube, and in my playlist on YouTube, is going to teach you one part of life, okay? It will teach you one part of life at least. And if you keep listening on, you will understand much more theories around life and myself and around my attitude around life. So you have to understand that you have to always deal with life on a daily basis. And when you deal with life on a daily basis, you go one side of the story, okay? And then you learn all sides of the story, okay? So make sure you understand that you have to pick up information quickly in this lifetime. You have to understand that those people who are young today, around, let's say, teenage years, I promise you they have to start learning very quickly, okay? Because if they're not learning quickly as self-education, then they may fall into drugs, okay? And now, if you go in the drugs direction like I did, you'll learn some things around drugs. You'll learn that it's not much of an experience, okay? And you'll learn also that you can get really, really lost. You can become lost in who you are, okay? You can become lost in terms of you won't know your name, okay? You won't know who you are anymore, okay? You won't know where you came from. You won't know what you have done. Yes, and you'll be unaware totally, because that's what drugs does to you, okay? And you have to understand on the spiritual level, you have to understand that you can always understand something around life, but you have to understand that people who are in teenage years the most are getting into drugs, okay? They're getting into drugs because of their friends and they're peer pressured into drugs, okay? And you have to understand that my mother for example, was peer pressured into drugs, but she said no to drugs, okay? She was saying, because someone actually offered her drugs, and she's like, nah, I don't want it. And then she went to the toilet, for example. She was about to take the line, and she did the line a bit. Like, for example, she did some cocaine, but she didn't really do it. Yes, and then it didn't work out for her. But the thing is that it's much more how she was unaware about that, and she wasn't much of a drug taker in her life, and you have to understand that my mum's not a drug taker, but the thing is that she does smoke cigarettes and she does also do legal drugs like alcohol sometimes. But the thing is that she also drinks caffeine, and now that's also something that can debilitate you, okay? You have to realize everything in life that is no good for you can always make you much more less of who you want to be, okay? So you have to understand to be careful, and you have to understand every single day to practice your imagination. Practice every single day giving words. You know, saying the more words you give, the better your life is going to be. So make sure every single day you're always giving that nice and beautiful feel toward life, because the more you actually give, the more you're generous. But you have to understand that many people don't appreciate my content, and you have to understand that when you start doing something a lot, when you start giving a lot of content, unfortunately, there are going to be people out there who are not going to appreciate you for what you've done, because they don't understand you yet. You understand? They don't understand exactly what you've done, what you've said. I promise you, there are people like that. But the thing is that not everyone's going to love you, okay? Not everyone's going to give you money. I promise you, not everyone's going to give you a hug. You understand? But the thing is, you have to ask for things. You understand? So make sure you understand that if you're living single, I promise you, if you're living single, then the best thing that you can do is live with your parents in this kind of day and age. If you live with your parents and you're single, I'm pretty sure there's no shame in that. I'm pretty sure there's no shame in living with your parents, because the economy of the world is going down right now, and you have to understand that housing prices are going up. I'm pretty sure price of living is going up. I'm pretty sure gas prices and petrol prices are going up. I'm pretty sure everything in terms of living expenses are going up, okay? So living with your parents is the best way to afford yourself much more of a life for now. You understand? Because that's the kind of age we live in. We are turning into a renter's nation, which means that more people are renting today houses than they are buying houses. Do you understand? Because the houses are just skyrocketing in terms of price. In terms of Australia, the most. I mean, and you have to understand that every single day, that if you go and really can escape to Europe sometime, if you can get yourself a Croatian passport or any kind of passport that's in the European Union, you'll be far better off than living in Australia. Okay, so you have to understand that things in life you can always do it. You can always make sure that you can live anywhere you want to live. It's no problem. I promise you, every single place you can live, but you have to have that nice and beautiful knowledge around what you are doing in life. Yes, and you have to have that nice and beautiful credibility also in life, to understand that you have to be someone in life. You have to understand you have to always grow yourself the most you can. Yes, and so being single in life, I want to talk about that. So if you understand how to be single, okay, you have to understand that it's much more how when you're actually single, you can provide for yourself, you can do anything for yourself, you don't have to worry about yourself, you don't have to worry about anything. But the thing is that you have to never worry about things. But the thing is, it's much more how you have to understand that all you have to do is just take care of yourself. Instead of taking care of someone else, you just take care of yourself. You live inside the body. You make sure every single day that you embody yourself and your mindset every single day, and that way your imagination is going to play a role when you're actually giving much more of yourself every single day on a daily basis, making sure that you're doing something on a daily basis to help yourself to succeed is what I'm talking about. So you have to understand that you can go anywhere in terms of life, in terms of anything that I'm saying, in terms of singleness or imagination or growing yourself or whatever it is. You have to understand that sometimes in life you have to go and switch task to task or topic to topic so that you can keep talking. Otherwise, you're going to bore the audience. You know, so make sure you understand that if you're talking, make sure you switch from topic to topic so that you can actually give that information that's the most clear information possible, so that you can actually benefit people in the long run. So you can do something on a daily basis to make sure that you're always growing yourself. You understand? So you have to be reading. You have to understand that imagination plays a key role in how you read and in how you do things. So make sure you understand that every single day you have to always document your life. You understand? Because when you document your life, you're always going to be doing something special for yourself. You're always going to make sure that you're broadcasting thoughts out there, and because you're doing that, you're going to help yourself to succeed even more. So you have to go inside for help. You understand? You have to go inside of yourself. You have to go inside of yourself for help, and you have to understand you have to deal with life on a daily basis, every single day, making sure that your finances are in check, making sure that you understand where your finances are going, making sure that you are not desperate for sex, making sure that you're not desperate for another person to come into your life, making sure you're not desperate to have kids. Do you understand? Make sure they understand that Jesus Christ didn't have kids. Jesus Christ didn't have a wife. You understand? So there's no shame in that. There's no shame in not having a husband. There's no shame in not having kids. Do you understand? Sometimes it's not for you, and that's it. I promise you, you have to understand that the universe is going to give you exactly what you looked for in life. So whatever you are doing with your habits every single day, I promise you, the universe will provide for you what you can handle. Okay, so you have to understand the universe is always working for you, but you also have to work for the universe. You understand? So every single day you have to work at something. So there are going to be richer people than you in life. And I apologize, and I'm pretty sure there are going to be people who are living like gods in this lifetime. You understand? They're living at the peak high of their life. You understand? But look at Michael Jackson, look at Kobe Bryant, look at Prince, that guy Prince, the singer. I mean, these guys were famous, and look at Avicii. I mean, look at these people who are famous, and they passed away very early. You understand? Even though they were famous, they passed away very early due to drugs. And what can I say? I mean, Kobe Bryant was in a helicopter crash. You understand? But the thing is that you have to realize some things. That being famous is not the end all be all. You understand? It's not important to be famous as much as it is to be healthy. You understand? So it's much more important to be healthy in daily life than it is to be famous. You understand? So every single day you have to realize that people have gone their separate ways in life. People are going different ways, and they're always going to be hating on you on something. You understand? Some people are going to hate you, some people are going to love you, but you have to always understand that you have to pick your own direction, and you have to go where it's much more affordable for you every single day. You have to do something on a daily basis that's going to help you to succeed every single day, and you have to always cautiously think about things. You understand? You have to think more about things in a way that you have to also document it down. So never just think. Make sure you think while you document. Okay, document everything like I am doing now. You see, I'm documenting as much as possible, but I'm showing my way a better way. I'm showing my way in terms of life. I'm planning ahead of the schedule. I'm planning everything on camera. I'm planning everything in terms of my content that I do for you guys, so that you guys can succeed, so that you guys can have free content, so that you guys can help yourselves to succeed, so that you can help your families for generations. You understand? Because that's what I do. I get information, I provide it as quickly as possible. I make sure every single day I have that information ready for you to succeed with, and I make sure that I'm always successful in terms of what I do. You understand? So all I do is I'm just a person who gets information and I pass it on. I promise you nothing else. You understand? So the thing is that the important thing for me is that right now I don't want to be in a relationship with a girl, except you have to understand that it's not my type of thing right now. I'm not gay. Yes, I'm not gay. I don't go for men or anything like that. It's just I'm not ready to be in a relationship with a woman right now, because it's just not that time and space right now. I'm moving from place to place. There's no time for a woman right now for me. And you have to understand that I'm not sure where I live in terms of life except for the body. So you have to understand I live in my body, but the thing is that I'm moving to Croatia to my mum's house from Australia eventually, and I'm getting that Croatian passport so that I can open my barriers so I can open my doors to Europe, so that I can get out of Australia, so that I can help myself to start a new life over here in Germany or Spain or Croatia. It's one of the three. But the thing is that it's much more how I'm moving from place to place, and that's why there's no space for a woman right now in my life. You understand? But the thing is, I have to work on myself. I have to every single day make sure that I stay off the drugs, stay off the illegal drugs, stay away from legal drugs, stay away from smoking cigarettes, stay away from caffeine, stay away from alcohol, stuff like that, as much as possible, so that I can help myself to succeed in the best kind of areas of life. Because you have to understand that the more you talk, the better you are. You know, saying the more you can actually document things down, and the more you can help yourself to succeed. You can immensely think about how much you can do. I mean, you understand? But the thing is that you can think about it, but why don't you document it as well? You understand? Why don't you go out there and make sure that every single day you provide as much information as possible to humanity, and then your job is done. I mean, you understand? So every single day, trying to document as much as possible, try to give out as much content as possible every single day, and then that's going to make you successful in some kind of endeavor that you're doing. You understand? So you have to understand that because I speak so much, and because I do so much work around words, You have to understand that's why I'm much more of an educated person, because I always seek out more information, and because I seek out more information to learn from, I'm always much better than yesterday, because I'm always seeking that information. I'm always chipping away at things around information. Do you understand? Because I need to always grow my mind. I have to grow my mindset. I have to be constantly reading every single day to benefit my life, because that's what I do on a daily basis. You understand? So every single day, my life looks like this. I wake up, I make sure that I journal things down as much as possible. I make sure I do some Netflix. I make sure I sit with my mum, I have a talk with her, and I make sure every single day that I'm doing my quotes, I'm doing my music production and stuff like that. And I'm trying to do my best in terms of life. I'm trying to get healthy, trying to eat the best foods for myself, trying to do the things that I need to do, you understand, so that I can help my life. And that's it. I mean, you understand? So make sure you understand that, and make sure that you understand that you have to go the better path. You have to stay away from the drugs, guys. You have to make sure that you are educated much more than enough every single day, and make sure that you're always educating yourself. Never stop educating yourself. Make sure that you always are developing yourself and having a great mindset.